Azure Synapse PowerShell is a powerful tool for managing and automating Azure Synapse Analytics resources. To get started with Azure Synapse PowerShell, first install the Azure PowerShell module and the Synapse PowerShell module. Next, authenticate with your Azure account using the Connect As Account CMD-let. Once authenticated, you can use the Get As Synapse Workspace CMD-let to retrieve a list of all Azure Synapse workspaces in your subscription. To create a new Azure Synapse workspace, use the New As Synapse Workspace CMD-let, specifying the name, location, and other required parameters. You can also use the Get As Synapse Workspace CMD-let to retrieve the details of a specific workspace. To manage Azure Synapse resources such as databases, tables, and pipelines, use CMD-lets such as Get As Synapse Database, Get As Synapse Table, and Get As Synapse Pipeline. These CMD-lets allow you to retrieve and manipulate the properties of these resources. Best practices for using Azure Synapse PowerShell include using the latest version of the PowerShell module, testing scripts in a non-production environment before running them in production, and using secure authentication methods such as Azure Active Directory. Practical examples of using Azure Synapse PowerShell include automating the deployment of Azure Synapse resources, monitoring and troubleshooting Azure Synapse workspaces, and integrating Azure Synapse with other Azure services such as Azure Data Factory and Azure Databricks. Key concepts to understand when using Azure Synapse PowerShell include the different types of Azure Synapse resources, such as workspaces, databases, and pipelines, and how to use PowerShell CMD-lets to manage and automate these resources. By following these steps and best practices, you can effectively use Azure Synapse PowerShell to manage and automate your Azure Synapse Analytics resources.